Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. Today, I will be reading from the r/EntitledPeople subreddit, so let's jump into it. Karen wants to be treated before a 3-day-old baby. I gave birth to my daughter on Tuesday, then we were released on Thursday. On Thursday, we saw our pediatrician after being released from the hospital. Turns out, my daughter's jaundice levels were high-ish. She was born at 37 weeks due to me having preeclampsia, so she's technically early to the doctors, so they're being precocious in checking that her levels don't get into dangerous levels. Since Thursday, we've had to go to the pediatrician/hospital on the weekend, since doctors' offices are closed, to get her blood drawn to keep checking. On Saturday, we had a doctor's order prescription to have her blood drawn at the lab, but had to be taken and wait in the ER. There were 3 to 4 people sitting in the ER when we arrived. We get checked in, my fiance and I sit, waiting to be registered. The ER desk worker recognized us from the other day, I guess from when I was in the hospital giving birth, and asked us about our daughter, how she is, how many days she is, why she's here, etc. I'd also like to point out that my daughter is extremely quiet for a newborn. Literally never made a peep in the waiting room. The registration woman comes out with that rolling cart not even 2 minutes later. She walks over to us and begins the process when old lady Karen pipes up, "I've been waiting 2 hours. Check me in first." 1, that has to be completely false due to how quickly the woman came out to us and how dead the ER was. 2, she literally cut the woman off as she was asking us questions, which is so rude regardless. Don't get me wrong, I can understand it being annoying when someone gets attention before you when you were there first, but there are nicer and politer ways of going about it. The registration woman gave the woman a look, then to me sympathetically. My daughter wasn't fussy or anything, so I had no problem waiting. Gave her a small nod as if to say, I understand, when the woman began checking in Karen. Only, Karen didn't even speak to the woman, just shoved her paperwork into her hand and sat quietly again. Once the registration woman was done with Karen, she checked us in, then thanked both my party and the woman, to which, of course, my fiance and I thanked her back, but Karen just glared over at the worker and us. After about 15-20 minutes, Karen told, not asked, told a worker to tell the ER receptionist that she's been waiting 2 hours and to call the lab technicians down again. The ER receptionist gets the message from the passing worker, gives Karen a look, and proceeds to call/page the lab again while making a slightly annoyed sound. After a moment, the receptionist turned to my fiance and I, apologizing to us, saying the technician would be down in a moment and that on Saturdays, they only have 1 blood technician. A few minutes later, the very lovely technician came down and immediately came to us, helping us gather our stuff out of kindness. The receptionist made some sort of comment about Karen also needing a lab done, to which the tech made an kind of sound. The feeling I got was that the receptionist told the tech on the phone about Karen causing issues and that an infant was waiting. My fiance and I took an extra second to get the car seat picked up, diaper bag, etc., so that Karen had to wait and stand with the tech who was complimenting us on our daughter, to which Karen said nicely but slightly smug, "Yeah, what a cute baby." We took a short walk to the lab area. Karen speed walking past us, talking to the tech about how she doesn't even understand why she's here. She could be doing other things on a Saturday. She's been waiting 2 hours, while the tech is nicely smiling and agreeing, apologizing, because she's the only blood technician on the weekends. We approach the room, to which the tech turns, smiles smugly, and tells Karen, "Ma'am, you can have a seat right here. Y'all can come right inside." What? Yes, ma'am, the seat's right there. We'll be done in just a minute. Karen huffed, giving my again 4-day-old baby a look as if it's her fault. Karen was a complete and utter pain in the ass, making the receptionist and tech want to make her life harder. Again, my daughter hadn't made a sound and was perfectly fine. Karen easily could have gone before us, and both of us were here for blood to be drawn. But I guess Karen had to wait even longer due to her sucky attitude towards staff. Great googly moogly. I do not envy anyone that has to work in the ER. I've only ever had to be in there once when my husband had an appendicitis, and I was absolutely shocked and horrified at the sheer entitlement of most of the people in the waiting room. My poor husband, he looks very friendly and has a handsome face, so people always go to him for help. My husband is a helpful empath, so he of course does, and this one guy in a wheelchair with, I think, a broken leg comes up to my husband and asks my husband to take him to the bathroom like 3 times. Another guy in a wheelchair sees this and then asks my husband to get his phone cord for him out of his backpack. I swear, like 3 people demanded my poor husband's help while he was having an appendix attack. I was about to snap. Thankfully, the nurse came right before I was about to raise hell in the ER, and my husband got surgery and all was well. There was also this other woman throwing an absolute tantrum over a dislocated shoulder, which I get it. Dislocated limbs and broken bones hurt, but they're not high up in ER priority. There are other people there who are dying or in life-threatening conditions that simply just get to go before you. I swear, adults turn into full-blown toddlers when in the ER. So, if anyone listening to this works in the ER, I salute you. You deserve a raise, and you are doing the work of saints. Entitled nurse almost kills. Gets karma. I, 21-year-old female, am a dialysis patient who is handicapped, wheelchair bound. I was about to turn 18 when dialysis began. I can't have a fistula, so I have a permacath. There is a tendency that my permacath gets blocked every 3 to 4 months. So my permacath was blocked, and the doctor suggested an anticoagulant injection for the blockage. The duration was about 14 or 15 hours because it was pushed through a machine very slowly. The thing with anticoagulant is that it can start internal bleeding or some other dangerous stuff, which I don't remember now. I was in ICU because of risks. I'm a patient who can't be without my mom, as she takes care of my everything as I'm in a wheelchair. Typically in ICU, they don't let relatives come inside, but my doctor had given permission for my parents. One particular nurse was very entitled. She seemed to think she was the owner of the ICU, and she got very angry when my mom came in. The injection was over, and the ICU doctor and entitled nurse were checking flow. I was lying down. The flow was perfect. I was delusional because of other meds. Entitled nurse left the permacath open and went along with the doctor. As I was delusional, I sat up to drink water. As soon as I sat, blood started pouring out. I don't know how much blood came out, but I got dizzy, oxygen dropped, and I fainted. The man who was sharing a room with me started hitting his hand on his bed and started making noise. The entitled nurse came running and started closing the permacath. The damage was done though. The whole bed, my clothes, everything was filled with blood. At that moment, my mom came in. The conversation went as followed, as relayed to me by my mom as I was passed out. What happened? She started bleeding. How? You should explain to her not to sit anytime she wants. What? She has back problems. She can't lie straight. And she's also out of it from medication. Get out. You are not allowed here. I have permission. Not my permission. Get out this moment. My mom goes out. The nurse starts cleaning before my doctor comes. She forcefully removed me from my bed and cleaned everything. Later, when I gained consciousness, my parents explained what happened. Next day, I got discharged. And when I reached home, the first thing I did was complain about her on the hospital's website. I called a few days later and was told she was let go. There were apparently many patients who complained and who suffered because of her carelessness. I'm so glad that OP helped in getting that awful woman canned. I always wonder why such impatient, bitter people go into careers that involve helping people. But you guys have said it before, that some people only go into careers like this for attention, for a false sense of importance, and hero stigma, which is so true and sad. But at least this one got her karma. Anyway, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed these 2 entitled people stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!